The NFL season is here, and the Lockdown Defense Sports Network welcomes you to another NFL season. We are here to give you a front row seat to the pulse of the NFL. Join us every Tuesday night as we break down the latest news, dissect the hottest headlines, and fire off fearless predictions that might shape the future of the league. From the locker room drama to game-changing plays, we're just not watching football, we're living it. As the entire hit squad with young RG Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dubb, the real AG Alex Givens, and yours truly, Coach Defense, joins forces with the NFL Nation Live crew, Ref Guru, Violator, and the Saudi pirate himself, Captain Jack Rackham. So buckle up, because this isn't your average recap. This is the Lockdown Blitz, where the takes are bold, the insights are gritty, and the passion runs deep. Let's go. To all my heavy hitters and lockdown defenders, welcome to the Lockdown Blitz. I'm your host, Coach Defense, alongside with me, the hit squad, Coach Mike Dubb, young RG Robert Garcia, the NFL Nation Live crew, Violator, the Saudi pirate Captain Jack Rackham, and yours truly, Ref Guru. We're in the building. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
That was a rough week for all of us, huh?
Yeah, rough week.
Really rough.
Yeah, not for the officials.
Another broken power chair by the airlines.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Wow, you got a little streak going there, don't you?
yeah, but I will say this, though. They did fix it within a day. So if you have to have anything medically effed up by the airlines, make sure you're flying Southwest, because those guys and the repair crew are awesome. Now I'm just waiting for them to repair my bag, and we'll be 100%.
There you go. All right, positive vibes.
Yep.
All right. So let's go around the room real quick and give a quick temperature check. Coach Mike Dubb, how you doing over there, good brother? What's going on in Commander's world?
We good. I'm doing all right. Obviously it's a rough week, tough loss all across the board. So I'll get into it a little later on in the week. But glad to be here, glad to wrap up, another NFL Sunday. We're pushing forward in the league, man.
Indeed.
Forward in the league.
Almost at the halfway mark. It's crazy, right? It's time flying. The
Yes,
season
sir.
acting
Yes,
like
sir.
somewhere to be.
Yeah, for real.
Acting like someone got somewhere to be. All right, bro. Young RG, Robert Garcia, what's going on, good brother? How you feeling out there? Other than obvious.
Yeah, feeling as good as to be expected, similar to Mike. Rough week to say the least. But can't harp on it too much. Got to bounce back. We got Thursday night football. Bolts are playing, so got to get ready for it.
Indeed, yeah. King's crowd was spilled for so long. Got to look your wounds, keep rocking, because we got a short week. Indeed. Violator, the legend himself, good sir. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Like everybody else said, it's a rough week all around, but we got to keep that chin up because there's 10 more games to go. So let's get it done.
Let's get it done. I like it. Captain Jack Rackham, outside of your broken chair, good sir, how you feeling?
Oh, well, hey, I'm feeling great because I've been to every Raider game this year, and I guarantee you the Raiders will not lose this weekend. I can put your money on it in Vegas. The Raiders are not losing this weekend.
Oh, yeah? I wonder why that is. Awesome.
We know why.
Yes, we do. Yeah. It's a good reason for it. Understandable. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Ref Guru. Good sir, how you doing? Welcome back.
I'm good. Great to be here with you all. No better place to be on a Tuesday night. The Raiders probably won't lose this week, but the officials will find something to blame them on for Monday.
How about that? Eagles Uncensored, how you doing, good sir? What's happening out there? Raider Clem, how you doing, good sir? James Farrell, how you doing? What's happening in the chat? Waiting for our regulars to come through. Talked to Ed a little bit earlier. I'm sure he'll be here. But yeah, man, NFL is
Speak of
definitely
the devil.
Oh, look at that, right. Oh, yeah, you felt
There
it,
he
the vibes. There he is. All right. So let's get the show going. So yeah, the NFL is yet again unpredictable through 7 weeks, and we're rolling into week 8, and a big bye week for a lot of teams, and some people just need to lick their wounds again and reset because it's a lot of things that we didn't predict, as we talked about the last 2 weeks about how it's been nothing like we thought it would be. Teams that we thought would be rebuilding are at the top of the divisions right now, looking good, flying high. Looking quite unstoppable. And certain teams that we thought were left for dead are now, rising from the ashes. So it's a lot to talk about from NFL world. But as we all like ceremoniously do when we get to the top of the show, when we got Ref Guru here, we like to go through our segment we call Ask the Ref. So we got a few questions for him today, and it's a couple of things that's been weighing on my mind. It's definitely something that I really want to get his opinion on, because I'm very curious about how he would, from an NFL referee perspective, officiate certain things that, always seem to crop up. And I don't understand exactly, what's a consistent way to actually officiate it. So let's get into Ask the Ref real quick, and we'll get us an insight on what constitutes a catch. Let's start there. What constitutes a catch? So when you get to how do you officiate a catch? From your perspective, because we saw TJ Hawkinson and was very vocal about his non-catch in the end zone in the overseas game early on Sunday. A lot of people's accounts, from the first look seemed like a catch to all of us, but when they slowed it down on the replay, even the booth agreed that it wasn't a catch. So from your perspective, can you give us a brief synopsis of how do you officiate what a catch is and what a catch isn't? Because this is a very hot button topic.
Well, it beats the hell out of me. What's the next question? No, it's. I mean, they've been. Seems like we've been talking about what is or what isn't a catch for a long time now, and it's gotten so strung out that I don't think anybody knows anymore. Was it? I think you're referring to was that the Vikings tight end?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, guys, I don't know how that's not a catch for a touchdown.
That's what I'm saying.
How is that not a catch? Okay, so the short answer to your question is, how do you officiate that? Is that we've talked about this before. If you don't have a clear definition of what it is, then you're going to be inconsistent in how you officiate it. They've tried to determine what that is, and they've gone everything from, got to make a football move, got to survive the ground, all this nonsense. But here's the thing for me. They've said for a long time now that the ground can't cause a fumble. So how can the ground cause an incomplete pass? I mean, the ground seems to be the culprit here when really it's the person that is the issue. So how do you officiate it? There's two primary points. They're going to have to scale back what is a catch. They've got so many definitions from it. You got to maintain possession. You got to make a football move. You got to survive the ground. All of that's nonsense. And the other part of it is there's two parts. There's the mechanics part. And I know on this show we haven't really gone too deep into the officiating mechanics on any given play, but mechanics being the definition of where the officials are or should be on any given play in order for them to observe the play. Mechanics are playing a factor in whether or not we have a catch or not a catch because of visibility issues or whatever. And the second part is the replay. And I don't even think the replay officials, or for that matter, New York, even understands what a catch is. And they're not being transparent about whether it is or it isn't. So from an officiating standpoint, when I did this, you have a player, you have possession of the ball, and then you've got inbounds or out of bounds, the whole 1 knee equals 2 feet kind of thing. And if from my perspective, guys, If the ball doesn't immediately come out, that's a catch. I think they need to get away from this whole got to make a football move, got to survive the ground. Because look, a guy goes up, catches the ball, gets 2 feet down in the end zone, lands out of bounds, and then they got to watch him for 3 more seconds to see if he holds on to the ball. What part of that wasn't a touchdown? I don't really care what happens to the ball after the ball would otherwise be dead on any other play.
Yeah.
Why do you have to survive the ground in the middle of the field? I don't understand why the NFL has 15 different definitions for catching a pass. I think they need to scale it back and then use their they need to bring their mechanics out of 1974, and they need to use their technology to fix this problem, because it's crazy. I was in my usual spot on Sunday. Wayne knows where that is. He's been there. And we're all sitting around. And every time there's a play, the whole bar looks over at me going, "What do you got, ref?" And I'm like, and I'm looking at the Vikings going, "That's a touchdown." And I would have died on that hill. And then they come back and say it's not. And everybody I almost got buried by French fries. I mean, I was dodging burgers and hot dogs and
Hey, what a way
beers.
to go. Way to go, man. Free food thrown at you, man. That's great.
And some of those were 22-ounce beers. I'm kind of old. It's hard for me to bob and weave when there's 4 or 5 of those coming at you. So, there's a lot of craziness. There was a lot of the call. There was one in the Tampa Bay game last night, right? So how do you officiate a catch? That's a really good question. But I think if they really want to officiate it, they got to scale back. What is the catch? They just got to go back to, does he have possession? And if it doesn't come right out, I think it's a catch. That's how I ruled on it. To answer your question, how do you officiate that? You got to have your eyes on it. You got to be in the right position as an official, and you just got to make the call. And if they want to look at this thing 17 different ways and try to, they still won't convince me that the catch from Minnesota wasn't a touchdown. Just because the ball rubs the grass doesn't make it an incomplete pass. The ball's not moving. He's got hold of it. Man, they've gotten themselves into a corner by having 17 different definitions of what a pass is or what a catch is. And it's going to plague us till they fix that. All we can do is hold our breath every time somebody catches a ball and hope it's a catch. But
yeah.
There were clearly some iffy calls over the weekend, I thought.
I agree. And the fact that they allowed for the ball to quote unquote touch the ground in any infield play, as long as you secure it and have control of it, it's fine. But in the end zone,
that's the point.
It's a different ball game, which is inconsistent. It might be the definition of inconsistent when it comes down to the idea of what's a catch and what isn't.
That's a really good point, Coach, because the end zones have a little bit different set of rules than the playing field, which the playing field is technically the goal line to goal line. The end zones have a little bit different set of rules, if you will. Why? Because it's the end zone. It can be a touchdown. It can be a safety, depending on what the ball's doing and who's doing what. But that's a really good point. But when it comes to a catch, I don't think the end zone should have any different definition other than the 2 feet. Or the 1 knee equals 2 feet. I don't think that should have any different feel to it than it does in the field. The reason why, that's another reason why you have a really good point, is because those get over scrutinized because they're scoring plays. Scoring plays are reviewable. So we get more of those than we do in the middle of the field because it's a scoring play. So there's all this noise going on, which makes it crazy for the fans. I was beside myself on Sunday. I was like, what now? Out of 465 calls at the bar that I hang out with, I missed one. I mean, oh my God, I almost felt like Gene Steratore. I mean, it was awful.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree there needs to be more consistent. I think they need to redefine the rules in its entirety. To have some consistency across the board. And I agree. I don't think it should be any difference in the situation. This whole surviving the ground business, when it comes down to the touchdowns, it's crazy. I mean, there's one rule that that I actually defend from an offensive perspective that they need to change. I mean, I can go all day about rants about these defensive rules and how they just handicap defenses nowadays, and they just want scoring and flag football kind of environment. But they definitely need more consistency across the board. And if they want to spend all day filibustering the touch push, they need to be working on the catch rules. I definitely agree.
They give a lot more attention to stuff that you just kind of shake your head going, really? That's how you're spending your time?
Yeah.
And the lack of transparency, no one coming out and saying what they have or what they don't have, other than a referee after the game talking to the pool reporter, which essentially is nonsense to a large extent. Just makes it really hard for the fans to swallow. But maybe that's part of what the NFL wants. Maybe they want us talking about it. Maybe they think that bad publicity is better than no publicity. But I think it hurts the integrity of the game, and that's my angle with this whole thing.
That's what bothers me. Yes,
Man,
I agree there.
I really have to draw the line there on some of that stuff because I'm not going to give my integrity away, and that's the only way you can lose it is if you give it away. And I think the NFL is doing a really good job of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Cool.
Don't lose it, give it away, right?
That's right. You can't lose it. You have to give it away.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, I guess they read from the autobiography of Eric Bischoff, Controversy Creates Cash. So yeah, I think this might be what the NFL is operating under, in the sense of how they want to have us talk about it on Tuesday, them talking about it on Sunday, talk about it daily in every NFL morning show. So yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. But we'll see how that things go. But yeah, we just clearly have no understanding or true understanding of a consistent catch officiating rule in the end of all that conversation, for sure.
Yeah.
I do. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. They spent a lot of time on that catch in Minnesota and still got it wrong. So
I know. I mean, it was a long time.
That's gotta be the worst when they spend so much time looking at a play and they're like, oh, surely they're spending a lot of time looking at it. They see something to want to overturn it, and then they just come out anyways and like, nah.
Yeah. That's they called it right on the field and they overturned it.
That's the whole point. Yeah, there's 2 points with those comments, guys, that I think is really important. The first one is that the call on the field was a touchdown, and that's what I was saying at my spot on Sunday, was that the ruling on the field was touchdown. They better have they better have Watergate to overturn that, and they did. Then I still don't get it. Yeah. And the second part of your point, if I can remember what it was, hang on. Oh, damn, I forgot what it was. It's a good point, too. What was the second comment? Coach, you had the one about the ruling on the field, and what was the other comment?
With Robert,
about how they spent so much time looking at it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so here's the interesting clue. When they spend a lot of time on a call like that, the more time they spent on it, the more nervous I got. Because honestly, it isn't really taking them, let's say the review takes 2 minutes or whatever. It doesn't take them 2 minutes to figure out if it's a catch or no catch. They've determined that in about the first 25, 30 seconds. What they're doing after that is saying, okay, where was the ball? Where do we need to move the chains back to? What do we need to reset the clock? That's all the other nonsense that's going on there. So when you see these calls taking a long time, the TV will make you think that, well, they're trying to decide if it's catch, no catch. No, they've already figured that out. They're trying to figure out where they're going to put the ball. So the longer the call goes, or the longer the timeout goes, the bigger chance is that call is probably getting overturned. And the reason why is they're trying to figure out where the ball is supposed to be, what downs it's going to be, and do they need to reset the clock.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Let's get your feedback on the Crosby question. There was a question in the chat earlier. I don't know if it was Ed that broached it. I think it was Ed that broached it, actually.
Probably.
All of us been talking about the. I want to know what the hell. Why they didn't call a damn was it a chop block? A chop block. It's obvious it's a chop block, but no, not in Kansas City. I almost said the other way,
Yeah. Guys, they've talked a long time about going low against defensive players. And I have no idea, other than the fact that it's, what was it? Was that Clete Blakeman's crew?
Yeah.
Or Carl Sheffers, one of the two.
No, it's
Blakeman. Okay. Other than the fact that it's Raiders, I really don't have any defense on why they didn't call that. That gets called every other player, any other game, any other league. That gets called on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day anybody's playing, from YFL all the way up to NFL.
Except on Sundays in Kansas City.
I don't get that one at all either. I got to see a little bit of the Chiefs game at the place that I was having my my lunch.
feel.
Yeah, and my extra fries.
There you go.
I was eating off the floor, but I don't understand that one. I don't have an explanation for you except that it's Raiders, and I know we hide behind that a lot, but some of the stuff is just crazy. I don't know how you get a flag these days for the Raiders.
And the hypocrisy with that one, ref, is that they always cry about player safety. And
Yeah, I know.
That's why they implemented that rule. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's still a subjective call, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that. In the same way, some IndyCar driver hits the wall in turn 4 and says, "Oh, I guess he hit an oil slick." No, he doesn't know how to drive. That if you're from Indiana, you know Indy 500. You know the turn 4 wall is should have a skull on it because it's you're coming out of short shoot to turn 3 at those speeds. Turn 4 is always a problem in Indianapolis. But yeah, the point is that I don't have an explanation for that one. It's a missed call, and it should have been a call. And you know what do we know about no calls against the Raiders? You don't get downgraded for it.
Yeah.
So there's no downside to blowing calls against the Raiders. It's not going to hurt you.
I got to ask because, again, I saw it from the field, and I only see the football games. Every game I see it live, and I almost never see a replay of anything. Ed says that the CBS commentator official, that would be Gene Steratore, probably, said it was legit. So as legit,
that tells you everything you need to know about the fact that it was legit.
Right.
Gene Steratore couldn't find a bunch of 3x5 cards at Staples. I mean,
well, that's what I wanted to say. Is it was a legit non-call or it was a legit call? You're going to have to tell me what fallacy he was smoking his weed under. I just got to know.
Well, I didn't hear that one. My interpretation was that he said that it was a good or it was not a legit call, which tells you that whatever he says for the Raiders, you can just throw that out the window.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why I wanted to say when he said it was legit, he was saying it was a legitimate non-call.
Yeah, there's some officials out there, and you know most of the folks that are out there now, I don't know. I still know a few of them. You know, 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago, I knew everybody. But Steratore is not somebody I'm going to defend, unfortunately.
Interesting. All right, Ref, I got a quick highlight for you. I just want to get your opinion on this call. Tell me what you think about this. I'm not going to even say anything about what happened. I'm not sure if you saw this or not.
That to me is personal foul out of bounds, but that's just me, and I'm not an official though. Because
it doesn't. He hits him in. Okay, that's a good question. He hits it. Here again, that's the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So
Darnold.
we've been trained to assume that the quarterback gets other protections. In this particular case, while I'm not a fan of the quarterback getting, if you will, blown up, there's a couple things here. He's out of the pocket. He's running down the field, which makes him what? A runner. He's not. He's essentially by rule lost his protections that he would normally have as a quarterback. So from the official's perspective, they're saying, did he have the opportunity once he realized that his run essentially was over? He could have decided that his forward progress was such and stepped out of bounds. He chose to stay in bounds. He's hit legally in the field of play. The play lands out of bounds. Doesn't warrant a flag from my perspective. Had the player driven him, if you will, out of bounds beyond the white and dumped him, that would have been a flag probably against anyone, including a runner, but especially a quarterback. But from my first look at that, he gets hit in the field of play. The play ends up out of bounds, which isn't enough to warrant a flag. He doesn't land his whole body on top of him. I don't know if there's a flag for that or not, but if there's no flag, I would probably defend that. I mean, I know if you're a Seattle fan, you'd be like, oh my God, but no, I don't think that's a flag.
Okay.
Oh, and you even said it with a high-pitched voice like it should be for a Seattle fan. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, they're already in shock from last night's game in Toronto, but
Oof. Had to open that wound up, Huck. Ref.
Yeah.
I will say that was a I always butcher his name. Alshire. Alshire, yeah.
Oh yeah, the headhunter. The headhunter.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly my point. He has been known to be a dirty player and have dirty plays in the past. So I fully believe that call was just a reputation call rather than actually a penalty committed in that moment.
Oh, did they flag that?
They did.
They
did.
Well, okay. Yeah, then I would agree with you then that's a historical flag. Probably should have the "Don't Tread on Me" logo on it because that's probably a legacy flag, and for all the reasons you just said. Had I known what you knew, and I was I don't know who threw that flag, but it might have been the field judge or line judge. Had I known what you told me when they did that, then I could understand why they threw the flag.
I would say that. Well, no, and Rep, I got to ask you is like, I know that it was inbounds when he first makes contacts.
Yeah,
it was one of those things where he did not dislodge and he went through with the I'm making sure that you are going to the dirt. Maybe not me on top of you totally, but he finished the tackle.
He did.
As he's like out of bounds, and he could have dislodged. He could have dislodged, but he did not, which is why. And again, I didn't know it was the headhunter. Thanks for telling me that, young RG. I'll play with Coach's name. That it was he did not stop. You know, when you guys out of bounds, you know, even when Kermit Mahomes does stuff, he's looking for, let me see if they can do the call. But if he doesn't dislodge, to me, that's an easy flag. That's an easy flag. And especially knowing who it was. Yeah.
He could have pushed Darnold out of bounds without, landing him on his back. And when you're down on the field, the tempo and all that is a lot different. Which sideline was he hit on? Was it Houston or Seattle?
Yeah, it was Houston.
It was Houston?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
My only question or concern with that is I feel like there is an unwritten rule, and obviously I've never played football. I don't claim to, be an expert in anything like that. But for those who did play and for ref, obviously coach or, officiated, I feel like there's like an unwritten rule between defensive players and quarterbacks specifically, where if a quarterback is scrambling out and they're near the sideline, as the quarterback, if I'm getting near you, go out of bounds, right? Like let's just make it easy on us. We know you don't want to get hit. I don't want to hit you to try to draw a flag. So let's just make it easier on both of us. And you go out of bounds, we go our way. That's the end of the play. Nobody has to get hurt. No flags.
Kermit Mahomes, who likes to.
and that's kind of my point. What I was going to bring up is that quarterbacks nowadays have abused that rule, that unwritten rules, and they are trying to get every little yard that they possibly can. We've seen, in college, the fake slide, so there has been a lot of things that defensive players are like, well, you already get every advantage possible as the offense. This is like the one thing we kind of agree on, unwrittenly. I won't try to go hard on you, but these guys, they like to Cap's point, what he was saying about how, he finished the tackle. To me, that's on Darnold, dude. Go out of bounds. Why are you trying to fight for another yard or two?
On top of that, and all Alshire did was make a former tackle. And as a former linebacker, that when you make a tackle like that, you wrap up, you finish through the ground. That's how you're taught. You're taught from grade school. So all they do is finish the form tackle, and they get through a flag on it because, yet again, it's more leaning to the idea of your legacy flag than an actual legit call. Had that been any other linebacker, had that been one of the other linebackers on the Texans, rather than him, he probably wouldn't have been a flag.
Well, that can be a pressure call too. We could look at the crew and find out, who threw the flag and what the experience of the official that did that. There's a lot of dynamics that we don't see in the video that could be going on the ground. When you're officiating things at that level, things sound different. But there's a good point about that. If what they decided that if quarterbacks are going to slide, that they don't spot the ball where they end up, they spot the ball where they start the slide. So the quarterback's going to go out of bounds, give him forward progress to that point, and don't smack him. If he decides that he wants to jiggle and wiggle a little bit and fake you out, well, then you smack him. Well, he made that choice by trying to do the wiggle. So, we're going to have to figure out how to how to officiate this game. You can't do the jiggle wiggle, get smacked, and then call for a
Crowd wolf.
flag.
Crowd wolf.
No. There
Yeah.
should be a flag on the Jiggly Wiggly, because I got one in mind. I think I've already said who it is. The Jiggly Wiggly guy should be called for, in hockey, they call it instigating.
But
Okay.
I agree with you, but this is professional football, and I think that there's a lot of history, that dates back to, Dick Butkus and all those guys about that. And some of that stuff dies hard. But I think when I look at that play, I still think that player's in the field of play. He's a runner. Okay, maybe he got smacked a little bit too hard, but it didn't look like a flag to me, but I wasn't actually on the ground, so I don't know. But
yeah,
if he'd have been hit on the edge of the white and driven back or something, that's fine. The fact that I'm just giving you what they would teach us in school, in ref school. He's a runner. He got hit. The play ended up out of bounds, and yes, he's on his back with the player on top of him. But it's not like he dumped him on his head, a la Cliff Branch. So again, I don't think it's a flag. I think the flag they missed was at the same game where they didn't call the safety.
Yes.
That should have been. How is that not a safety? You
Oh,
don't give forward progress to somebody going backwards into the end zone.
I do not know. I do
That's
not know.
insane.
That was the most baffling call of the night for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
They,
completely
they have
agree.
like another Seahawk Raider interception. The guy goes into the end zone on a slide on a turf, and then they give him a safety because it gets something like I was flying. I missed the game.
CJ Stroud running for his life backwards, and never at any point does he make any forward progress as he's getting sacked. Ball is clearly in the end zone when he goes down, and they ruled somehow forward progress at the one.
No, I understand why they don't want to have a safety, and I understand the referee has jurisdiction to be able to determine if he was stopped with forward progress, meaning the ball's essentially out of the end zone. But there was no forward progress on that at all while he's falling back into the end zone. That's a safety. I don't know how that's not a safety and that other one's not a flag, but this is the crazy world we live in. Huh?
Hey, can I have one more? Can I have one more? And I don't know if I alluded to it earlier. Remember the old forward progress rule? Okay. There's a point where you can figure out where forward progress should end. And that's when the whistle's supposed to come. But it's called the NFL Rugby League. And I'm not talking about a tush push. I'm talking about when you have a bunch of defenders,
and they just pushing
tackle, and then the friggin' and as an offensive lineman, I'm saying that those are the guys, the big honks that push the guy for another 3 or 4 yards. That's crap. That's crap. I want to see a football game, not a rugby scrum, and that's not even alluding to a tush push. When the forward progress has been stopped, it's impeded. You're through, you're finished, you're washed up, as Al Howard Cosell would say. That's where it should stop, not where you have the 300-pound lineman push the MFer for about another 4 or 5 yards ahead. I did clean it up.
Yeah, well, I think that goes back to the whole inconsistency of the rule, because you allow that in the normal quarter play on a kickoff or running play, things of that nature, but you stop it dead when it's classified near a safety call or end zone, play, anything like that. You are at the letter of the law in that situation, but you're allowing for the extra pushing and shoving and pulling going on when it's other plays.
Well, and those are all really good points. Let me add one other nuance that's seldom talked about, and that is that the NFL doesn't want all 7 officials blowing whistles at the end of a play. Remember, the whistle really, from a technical perspective, the whistle doesn't end the play. The rule book ends the play. The whistle is just to let everybody know that by rule, the play is over. That's an important distinction, because you don't want officials blowing whistles, all 7 of them, if they're not able to see the end of the play. So what they do is they have jurisdictions, and they really only want 1, maybe 2 whistles on any given play, given based on where the play goes from and where the play goes to. The jurisdiction of the official will change. For example, a short, running play up the middle for 1 yard, the line judge is going to blow the whistle. If it gets into the defensive secondary, it could be a field judge, back judge blowing the whistle, but they don't want 7 whistles. They want 1, maybe 2. So when you have those types of plays and you have forward progress, the officials are in. There's a couple dynamics going on there. The officials are all looking, thinking to themselves, is that my whistle or is that my buddy's whistle? So that adds another second or 2 to the play. But they also want to make sure that they don't shortchange a fumble or some sort of something else that would take precedent over the completion of the play. So in a split second, the officials have to ask themselves, is the play over by rule? And on those plays you're talking about, there's some subjectiveness to it. The second part of it is that who's blowing the whistle, and all of those dynamics in a microsecond or 4 seconds is going to give this optics to us as fans that you guys are exactly talking about. Why does it take so long? Why does the play go so long? Why are they allowed to, keep pushing when it's clearly forward progress? As an official, I'm telling you, I'm waiting for the play to be over. Well, when is it going to be over? Well, it's going to be over. Well, when I decide it's over. Well, then whose whistle is that going to be? All of those things all compound themselves into that. And when you push that all into a play like you guys are talking about, the optics and result of what you are saying is exactly what happens as a result of that. So just some nuances going on in the background there that bring those things that you're saying to the forefront, which makes for a great conversation. But there's a lot of technical aspects behind that, which are not talked about very often.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. There you have it. Any other questions for the panel for Ref before we let him take his leave?
Great analysis as always.
Well, I
Listen,
appreciate that. Thank you for listening.
Remember the first 4 letters in analysis, so we got it.
Yeah,
no,
I get it.
Wow.
Yeah, I get it. I think the Chargers going to rebound this week as
I appreciate that, Ref.
Almost
Appreciate
everybody else. Yeah, if you can't, you got Minnesota, right?
Yep.
If you can't beat the Vikings at home, you might as well just hang it up.
Tell me about it.
I mean, Carson Wentz couldn't throw across the street and hit a parked car, so you guys are okay. Sorry, but
this is gonna make it so much worse when we lose this game.
Hey, make sure you save that drop. Make sure you save that drop just in case.
Just in case.
Oh man.
Well, all right. We'll table that defensive holding question for next week. I just want to let Cap and Ed chime in on their questions instead. So we'll get to that.
It's not like there won't be another one.
I was just going to say that.
I swear I won't have a Raider the question this next week.
We'll find something.
We'll figure it out. Maybe just
only the Raiders could screw up a bye week, so we'll see.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How you get fired on your day off?
Hey, it's happened. I'm telling you.
It has. It has. That's Ice Cube. Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, the one, the only Ref Guru.
Great to be with you all. Have a great week. Thanks for having me out. Good to be with you.
Indeed.
Go Dodgers.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. There you go. Tell them again.
Anybody but the Dodgers.
Wow.
You rooting for Canada?
I'm right. I rooted for Canada in the Stanley Cup, and I certainly am not rooting for the Dodgers to repeat.
I like their ginger ale. It's pretty good.
All right. So let's get on to our next topic. We'll let Ref Guru go. We'll see you next week, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Bye.
All right. So let's move on with the show here. We got another interesting topic. Getting some NFL news here. We're going to talk about the NFL, I guess you can say front runners at this point. So the guys that are leading the division right now are some very uncharacteristic names, from our perspective in a lot of cases. Now the question remains, when we talk about, teams like the Colts, the Patriots, The Packers, the Buccaneers are now, they're losing, people left and right injury wise. The 49ers, ironically, at the top of the West. We didn't call that. Do we believe at this point in the season, we're going into week 8, do we think that these division leaders are poised to hold on to their lead, or are they setting themselves up for a collapse? So we're going to start with the AFC. So we have, I'm going to put up over here on the board who's leading what. So the Patriots are 5-2, the Steelers are 4-2, the Colts are 6-1, the Broncos are 5-2. So starting with Coach Mike Dub, from starting with the AFC, do you believe that these division leaders that are currently leading at the almost halfway mark are going to hold on to their division lead and take the division themselves, or are they going to fall on their faces, for lack of a better term, coming down the stretch?
I think two of them I got questions about. Number one, the Steelers. I've been on record as not really loving them from the start. They have proven me wrong throughout the first 7 weeks of the season.
Right.
But I'm still an advocate. I won't say an advocate, but I'll still say that once Lamar comes back, if he comes back and he's healthy, anything can happen. The Browns defense, we've seen them, kind of make games out of situations that otherwise shouldn't have been games. Anything can happen in that division, I believe. And then of course we just saw Joe Burrow, beat them on Thursday night. So I say all that to say, I think their division is a lot more competitive than it seems, than it is on paper. So I can see them slipping to, and possibly not ending up there. Now, do they have the inside lane, and should they win it? Absolutely. But I can see them slipping. And then the second team I would say would be the Broncos. I just haven't been impressed with how they're winning. I know that this past weekend was a great comeback, against the Giants, a game that the Giants definitely should have won. But, before they came back and before that fourth quarter, they didn't look good at all. And they've had, a few games like that, a few close calls where they just haven't looked, as good as you would think. And of course, this is the same division with the Chiefs in there and the Chargers, if they can never get healthy as well. So those are two teams that I would keep my eye on. The Patriots look good. The Patriots look very good. Of course, you never know what will happen with the Bills. That's their only competition there. And I think the Colts, they probably are the best, the easiest lock out of all of them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Violator, good sir, how do you feel about the AFC divisions, and can these guys hold on to the lead, or they want to fall on their faces by December?
By December, see, that's the catch point right there. That's like it says, 10 games to go technically. I see some of these teams balancing out because the injury bug is going to hit them all at some point. It's just when those stars get injured in the beginning or towards the end of the season. So there's going to be a balance out in all these records that we see. But my eyes on the Steelers also. Can they sustain what they're doing right now? I'm not sure about that, because as soon as Rodgers is out, it's game over for them.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
So,
guaranteed. Who's their backup? I don't even know that.
I couldn't even name him.
Rudolph? Yeah, is it him? I don't know.
I think it is Rudolph. I think it is. They
Okay.
brought Rudolph back.
Okay.
Yeah, Maya Rudolph. She got out of her SNL stint.
You know what? I love Maya Rudolph, by the way. No Maya Rudolph slander on this chat.
No, I ain't slandering her. The fact that she can go from SNL to be the backup quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Good on her, man.
She's a beast. She's a beast.
Twiggy as she is, that's props.
That's talent. That's talent right there, man.
Pure talent. Pure talent. I like it. Okay. So the Steelers have got your eye on the downfall potentially based upon what you got going on. Okay. All right, young RG, what you got on this side of the AFC? Who's going down and who's going to stay?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go with the Broncos, and not even for my own team to say that they're gonna overtake them, but with the way the Chiefs are looking, man, after those first like 4 or 5 weeks, they look terrifying. Rashee Rice is back. That offense looks as good as ever, as good as it looked.
Yeah.
They got healthy after those initial injuries, kind of like what Coach and Violator were talking about. If you're able to weather those early injury storms, get healthy. The injury bug is going to get everybody at some point. So if they got it out of the way now, man, that's just terrifying for the AFC West and for the rest of the AFC, because it doesn't look like it has in years past, with the Bills and the Ravens and the Bengals being, all up there in contention. The Chiefs, man, if the Chiefs win this division, they might have the easiest road to a Super Bowl they've ever had. So
That's a good point.
I feel like
That's a good point.
it's definitely the Broncos that I'm, just look at that last game, man. I mean,
Right.
30 points in the quarter is extremely impressive. Do not get me wrong. Completely unsustainable.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, for sure. And I think the NFL is in entirety. You just don't want to learn their lesson. It's just definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Because when the Patriots were on their run, when they were down and they had problems, when Tom Brady got hurt and, suspended, you would think, just stomp on their neck and keep them down, because if they start to get going, they're going to be unbeatable. Same thing with the Chiefs. When you have opportunity because they're vulnerable, they're weaker, and they try to, you quote unquote kind of push them aside, for get them out the way. Nobody does it, and they rise from the ashes like a phoenix. So here we are again. So I definitely agree that they're definitely hot, and they might be the hottest team in the NFL right now. All right, Kat, what you got over there? Or are you Bill Belichick? That's a hoodie? Is that a hoodie we got going on there?
You don't know who I am.
Okay.
Come on.
I thought it was Palpatine for a second.
You're right.
can't-
That's who. Yeah.
You can't figure out with the attitude and the hood that this is the coach right here. On to Cincinnati type of guy.
Yeah.
The Patriots are back.
Oh,
And I mean, if you look at the division, I mean, okay, there's two teams in this division. It's the
complete
Patriots.
Complete dumpster fires.
It's the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills, and then you got two other guys that you'd have to improve to be a dumpster fire if you're the Jets or the Dolphins.
Amen to that.
Amen,
Okay.
brother.
So I mean, I don't know if we're going to. I believe. Now I'm sounding like a damn Southern preacher, but I'm just saying. I believe that it's the Pats, my Pats, the New England Belichicks that are going to win out.
New England Belichick. That's funny. That is
They're
hilarious.
going to change their logo as soon as I leave college football. They're going to definitely get with the logo. It's the New England Belichicks. So don't worry about the Pats. Don't worry about the Bills, because they're locked in. They are so locked in, it's ridiculous. My thing is, because the Broncos are cavalry. Got to watch them cavalry people. I'm not sure if you can't figure out the hat. This is a cavalry hat, so you got to watch them dang donkeys.
Mm.
The donkeys, they're riding high in the saddle right now. I don't think that they're going to finish out that way. I think they're going to be we're going to be in the playoffs. We're cavalry. We're winners. We take our horses and we ride through and we win. Cavalry's going to be there, but I don't think they're going to be on top. I think it's going to be them damn Indians. Them damn Indians in the AFC West.
Okay. All right.
Them San Angeles people, I don't even know about them. They might eke out.
San
They might
Angeles.
eke out something. Just like in the movie, San Angeles. I think.
Demolition
I
Man.
think. Yeah, whatever. It was the black guy that was the bad guy on that one, right? See, it's always the black. And why is that?
All right now.
I'm just saying that's wrong. That's wrong. But am I right or am I right? Anyway, watch the donkeys. We're going to ride up. We're going to rise up, and the damn Indians are going to catch us. I'm just saying, take it from the cavalry guy.
Okay.
I think Belichick might be my favorite character you do. That was spot on.
That was a good one. Yeah. When you put the hoodie on, he's a different person. That's for sure. That is
I
for
haven't been able to do him this year. I'm like, I can actually do it this.
There you
this
go.
week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
That's why I popped out for a second. I'm like, let me get my hats ready. I'm ready for that. I got one more.
Real quick, Coach. I just wanted to address Mike real quick. So it's not about having backbone. It's the Chiefs have owned this division for the better part of the last decade. So you gotta give respect to where it's due until somebody dethrones them. It's not about the Chargers are gonna collapse. No, the Chargers have a bunch of injuries right now. The Chiefs have a lot of guys coming back from injury, and they just look like the better team right now. I'm not gonna lie and say that the Chargers look better.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, we are analysts on this podcast, not just fans of teams and have biased opinions. We have our objective opinions, and our objective opinion is that the Chiefs look much better. They look like the most well-oiled machine in the division right now. Let's be honest about it.
Well, they had a scrimmage game last Sunday. I mean, that's actually an extra bye week for them. Okay, come on.
Absolutely, I agree.
That's funny.
Okay.
But getting back to the topic at hand, real quick for me, I pretty much share y'all sentiments. I think the Chiefs are nipping at the Broncos' heels. The Colts got Darius division on lock. I don't see anybody that in that division. Titans are a complete mess. To Cap's point, you gotta step your game up to be a dumpster fire. The Jaguars are so bipolar, it's ridiculous. I just can't gather what they are. They beat the Chiefs and they come back and lay 2 eggs back to back. I can't count on them either. And the Texans look like a mess as well with their O-line. It look like a carbon copy what the Chargers are going through, and they just can't seem to block anybody up front. So yeah, the Colts are going to run away with it, and then it all depends what the coach Mike does point. It all depends on what Lamar does if and when he comes back, because he's still not practicing. So if he's out another week and they go 1-7, I think you can hang it up. I don't think it's a matter of them just rallying. I think that you just hang it up all together. But we'll see.
By the way, watch those other cavalry horses. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine in that division because they're winning right now. You said that them damn Jacksonville people, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a Forrest Gump movie. You don't know what you're going to get with them. The horses in that division are good to go.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the NFC real quick. Coach Mike Dub, what you got on the NFC side? Who you think stays and who goes?
The NFC side, I'm going to start out with the 49ers. I think that eventually they've played well, and their young guys have played well. First and foremost, let me just give them their flowers. I think the 49ers organization has to be one of, if not the best front offices in the NFL. I mean, just time after time, they've been a contender for the last 10 plus years, maybe even more. I can't remember them rebuilding, even though they've came back with new rosters and been contending ever since. But even with that being said, eventually I just think that those injuries are going to start to catch up to them. They've been good at getting the young guys to compete and all those things like that. But it's a long season, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know when their bye week is, but they haven't had a bye week yet. So it's a long grind. It's a grind. Is it this week? Their bye week is this week.
Yep.
Good.
Okay. The Jags.
The 49ers?
Or I'm tripping.
Maybe not. But either way, the reason why I bring that up is because, when you have, young guys that are playing in the NFL, so that's the thing. A late bye week, that means that, these young guys are going to have to grind it out for, a long time. And, can their bodies hold up? Can they, stick to the, to the grind of the long NFL season? Teams making adjustments. I think that's going to be hard for them to keep up. That's a division that is the Seahawks and the Rams. I love both of those teams. Either one of those teams, can take that. I think both of those teams are better than the 49ers. So that's, probably one team that I will say. Same thing with the Buccaneers. They're starting to dwindle down, specifically at the wide receiver position. We'll see how that can hold up. Their running backs, are starting to dwindle down as well. So if they can stay healthy, perhaps, but the Falcons are right on their tails as well. So those are the two teams that I'm looking at. Packers and Eagles are pretty, feel pretty confident about them too, kind of, being the cream of the crop of the NFC. But I will keep an eye on the Buccaneers because of the Falcons, and then also the 49ers, just because I feel like, in my opinion, they're the third best team in that division.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Falcons. The Falcons are much like the Jags. I don't know what I'm going to get week to week. And now Michael Penix is banged up, so I don't have a lot of faith. And they're starting to take advantage of that right tackle that they got as a backup because they lost their starter at the start of the season. So I'm a little concerned about the Falcons in general. So I think the Buccaneers, as long as they can hold serve and don't lose games and that's supposed to lose, then they don't lose games they're supposed to win. They should be all right.
They got up to a good start. 5-1.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got themselves a good cushion.
Agree. Violator, what you got for the NFC side? Who you think is teetering and who's going to hold serve?
I'm gonna say I'm watching the Packers right now. I watched this game this past weekend. Teams are focusing on putting some punishment on Jordan Love, and it's they're starting to blitz him a lot. Even though I went brain dead real quick. Josh Jacob is really carrying that offense to me right now.
Yeah.
And when that weather changes up there, I think it's going to be a whole different ball game. So I'm watching the Packers to get slid out of that lead that they have right there. Now the Bucs, it all hinges on Baker Mayfield to me. Now they've down receivers like Coach Mike said, their running backs are depleted, and they just lost a receiver, I think, for probably the season.
Mike Evans is out for at least 8 weeks, and then Duke is
better
hurt
part of the season. So, they've got the young guys that's got to step up in there, and Baker's trying to do a whole lot, and he's getting beat up himself. So
I'm great. Say he's taking a lot of punishment too. Yes.
Yeah, we talked about injuries earlier. That's a team to watch injury-wise. Yeah. They take a slump right in this middle part of the season.
Right. So can the Falcons take advantage if they slide, though? That's the question. That is the question. Can the Falcons take advantage?
Yeah, I'm looking at another team to take advantage.
Well, go ahead.
in that division.
Talk about it.
Man, Coach, we might not have been wrong about Carolina. Hey,
were we too early to write them off?
We were maybe a little bit too early to write them off. I think Carolina, man, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but with that's obviously been previously mentioned, the Bucs have been going through up until this point a ridiculous amount of injuries to that O-line, to the receiving room, to the running back room, obviously losing Bucky, and it's taken a toll on Baker. He's willed them to some of these wins, most of these wins, honestly.
Right.
But that the consequences of that are starting to bear fruit now. You start to see, he's taking a lot of punishment. More injuries are coming up. And, man, I just think the Panthers are a team that's just sneaky. It almost seems like, I'm just seeing this now. If Bryce Young's injured, then it's all. But, I mean, to the point, that whole division's injured. So it's just a matter of can they – I mean, we saw the Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0. And that was not from anything of Bryce Young playing well. That was just the team playing well, the defense. So I really do feel like the Panthers, funny enough, every team in that division has a negative point differential. Following this past week for the Bucs, they're now -1 with their loss last night to the Lions. So yeah, I just think that the Panthers have the best chance to kind of sneak their way in there. Somebody's got to win this division. Why can't it be Carolina?
Yeah. And I think Bryce Young has a high ankle sprain, so it's not a long-term injury, hopefully.
Right.
So yeah, he could definitely potentially bounce back from that and get going. And Andy Dalton's a capable backup. So if he can eke out, he can kind of hold serve and eke out a win or two while he's out. Hey, then they're rolling. They're cooking with hot gas. So I don't know. It just depends on what the turn the Buccaneers take, from injury perspective, and how quickly the Panthers can make up the ground, because I think they're was it 4-3 versus 5-1 or 5-2?
5-2, yep. And it's going to be a rough one for the Panthers next week. They got the Bills.
Yeah, off a bye.
Off a bye
at that. So yeah, okay.
They are at home. Bryce plays well at home. There's that.
Yeah, they're smart, because the Bills can't stop a cold when it comes to running the ball. They would just run the ball with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, and kind of control the clock and keep the ball away from Josh Allen. That will bode well from the idea of keeping them, in the game and allowing them to, be in it at the end. But we'll see how things roll. All right, look like Captain Jack had to take a quick sabbatical. Are you back?
What?
That's why you had to
How
take a
dare you? First off, the imbecile right below. Who is this lion? What's the lion? It's Leon. That's why Leon is the qualidad of the division. We are the champion. We will be there in the end. deal, Packers. I got your pack this. I got your Packers right here. One loss at the beginning. We gave them a game so that they can go, oh, look at us. We're so good. We are Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay. First off, it's Verde. And Verde is merde. And if you don't know a French, merde is not a good word for me to say on the air. But you have to understand the qualité of the Francois language. Detroit, Lyon, Campion. I don't need no Packers. Packers, I got your Packers right here. Make sure you bet on the ankle biters from Detroit. Detroit, Lyon, Campion. It's finished. We're going to win. Maybe. Finally. Damn it. I just said it. Just don't sleep on Detroit. That's all I have to say. That's why. What do you say to Captain Jack? Who the hell is Captain Jack? I don't even know who you're talking to. Captain Jack. Yeah. Merde.
It's Monsieur Jacques.
There you go.
John is Jean-Claude Jacques. Is my name. Jean-Claude Jacques. Okay? Jean-Paul Jacques is my Cajun cousin when I'm in a different hat. I'm like, we're going to lose again. You know, that guy, the Jean-Paul, the down there. Oops, we suck again. That guy, different. Different. I have a straw hat for that. Get it through your head. Who the hell you talking? Captain Jack. Bleh, bleh, bleh.
All right. So turning over from the top of the division, let's talk about the bottom feeders. So we have some teams that are quote unquote already looking at their mock drafts. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the records for the teams that have 2 or less wins through 7 games. So let's get your take on it, Coach Mike Dub, about how do you feel about these teams that are struggling, to say the least. And who do you think from the AFC perspective is the easiest fix?
Well, clearly, I've talked about it before. The Ravens is just a health thing, in my opinion. As far as the AFC goes. And, I think that they don't look good, of course, but they're missing a lot. When you go down the roster and you look at how many guys they're missing, I don't know how any team can be expected to really compete with missing that much. So I think theirs is the easiest fix as far as, having everything that they need in the building in the AFC. They just have to get healthy. Second, I would say, and I won't say easy fix, but I'll say as far as this list goes, is actually the Browns. And the reason why I say that is because, I didn't mean to steal your shine, so I'm not going to elaborate too much on it. But I don't think the Browns are as bad as we thought they were going to be. It's just the fact that they're the Browns, and they could be a lot better off. I'll just say that they could be a lot better off than if they wouldn't have, completely bungled the draft situation with the quarterbacks. And I still don't know why they have Shador on the roster. That's another pick that they could have just whatever. But I say all that to say that given that debacle, they still are, they're not in a terrible spot. It seems like they're trying to get something going with the rookie quarterback. The run game looks good with Judkins. Judkins looks like a stud. So that's something positive that you can go with. And I always say if you can run the ball and play defense, you stand a chance in this league. So do I think that they're a good team? No, but they're not as bad as the other teams on this list. So I'll say the Ravens first. They just got to get healthy, and then the Browns.
And they're not in last. How
Yeah.
often can we say that about Cleveland?
Right. How about that? Indeed. Violator, on the AFC side, who you think that is currently struggling right now? Who you think is the easiest fix to turn the things around in the next upcoming offseason?
Since Mike already said the Ravens, which is mostly injury related, I'll go and say I'm gonna say the Browns because they've got a damn good D now.
Yeah.
And if they can just get the QB situation figured out, I think they'll be the easiest fix. Raiders, Dolphins, I think Jets, they're looking to sell the team. There's rumors out there for that. Raiders are right behind them. Dolphins, I think they're going to lose their head coach probably mid-season here if they don't turn it around. So that's going to be a lot of players available for that trade deadline.
That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, it's looking rough in a lot of spots, and yeah, definitely no easy climb in Miami or New York for that matter. These from the gang green side of things. So yeah, I agree with that. Young RG, who you got on this side of the AFC bracket? Who you think is the easiest fix?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest fix is the Browns. It has to be. Just it's also, easiest fix is easier said than done because the fix they need is a quarterback. Now,
you took the words right out of my mouth because I was going to ask you, who do you think they need the most? Is what
now
turn the thing around for you.
And now the reason I say that is because they are the one team I could argue that hasn't gotten the quarterback right ever. The one time they finally got it right, they sent him away.
Yeah,
like the stupid franchise that they are. And I'm sorry, they are one of the few franchises I can actually talk down on for just how atrociously run it is. And
I was gonna say that's easy for a Chargers guy to talk about. I'll give you that. Easy for you to say that. That was a fantastic statement there, shipmate. I will give you that.
And hey, I know all about terribly run organizations, so I can absolutely point one out when I see one. And the Browns, man, if they just don't move on from Baker, they are easily winning this division this year. Easily.
That's a good point.
And it's just so mind-numbing to think about it. And I feel for Browns fans because they have been in QB hell, purgatory, whatever you want to call it, for
most people's lives.
Yeah, since the damn franchise was created and founded.
Right.
So I say it all that to say the Browns, it's the easiest fix, and they probably will still be the last team out of all of these to fix it.
Damn. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Okay. All right, Captain Jack, what do you got on that AFC side? Who do you think is the easiest?
You better learn. Shoot.
Camera off.
Did I hit my camera damn thing again? And I don't know how I did that because I didn't touch anything. I swear. My hands were here. I swear it must have been the shine. I had my shine over here. Y'all know about my shine if you've been watching my shows from last year. Actually, it's not my shows. It's the wonderful show that Ref and Violator and Captain Jack kind of let me kind of sub in for. He's a great guy. He's a good-looking dude, even though he's got that nasty-ass hair. Anyway, I would say one of the easiest, and it's easy. The easiest fix in the AFC, and not the Titans. I just wanted to wear the damn hat. I'm sorry. They suck, okay? But at least we got the shine. We got the shine, and we don't care because we're going to be higher than the Rocky Mountains out when the Broncos start sucking. So, having said that, the easiest fix is here. But let me quantify that. You didn't say if it's this year or beyond. It ain't happening this year. Because you gave me leeway here. Right? The Raiders can be a relevant team. Oh, Jack cannot blow me. Okay, there you go. I just said it. If the Raiders get an offensive line by hook or by crook, they can fix, because without an offensive line, that's why I popped up. I'm doing a spinning circle. I'm sorry. The Raiders need an offensive line, and I'm not sure what's going on. And then, oh my God, I don't know if it's clickbait or not. I see the clickbait for the Max Crosby crap, and then I see clickbait that the Raiders are thinking about getting rid of their best offensive lineman and JPJ. I don't know how to take that other than what in the flying foxtrot are you doing when you have the best offensive lineman and you're thinking about getting rid of him because he has issues? This is the Raiders. We work with players with issues. What did John Madden said? Go out there, play your hardest, be on time. Those are the Raider rules. And somebody forgot that, okay? And a lot of it is the fact that it's a Pete Carroll and a Chip Kelly thing where you got the old, and they were talking about the, the discontent in the locker room. There is a little bit of that. And by the way, and I want to make sure I quantify this correctly, through a source that is well connected and knows about the Raiders through his workings, not within the organization, but he is highly attuned. If you want to blame Geno Smith on somebody, it's not the head coach. It's that other guy that works for Fox.
Oh.
Because he's the guy that brought in Geno and said, that Darnold guy, he's a 1-year wonder. He's a 1-year wonder. And that is through a very well-connected source that knows the Raiders, that it was Tom Brady that brought in Geno Smith. But Geno could do a lot better if he had a freaking offensive line. They could run Ashton Genty. He can do play action pass. It's all cognizant of an offensive line. And that's why, and I'm sure Violator will agree with me on this, I want to see every player the Raiders drafted, Rodgers and Grant, I want to see them play. They can't play any worse than the guys that they're playing there now, right? I don't want to see Alex Crappa, and yes, that is his name. I don't want to see Alex Crappa in another game for the Raiders. I want to see Pegues. I want to see Hemingway when they get better. I want to see the young linebackers, okay? And I definitely want to see Porter at cornerback, because if the Raiders are going to give up touchdowns anyway, I'd like for at least to be the second-round draft pick that is learning on the job. If you play the guys that you want to see what they can do, the Raiders are the easiest fix, but it's not going to be this year. I just want to see them look competitive, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's it.
Okay.
That's me.
I don't think any of these teams are going to be fixing it this year.
I think this is bleeding into the 2026 campaign. This is what their question is. It's bleeding into that. I think they're all done. Just pretty much. We just waiting to take it out the oven at this point. We just waiting for the timer to go off because it's over.
You didn't give me a timer. That's why you gave me leeway, and I will always find that niche where I can get out of a question.
Funny. All right, let's talk about the NFC real quick before we move on. Mike Dub, who you got on the NFC side that's a quote unquote quick, the easiest fix, going into 2026?
Giants. Clearly, the Giants.
Oh, yep. Did he freeze? What happened?
Did we lose him?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh, damn.
Good answer though, Giants.
Yeah, that is the correct answer. I think we can all agree with that one, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hands down.
Yeah.
If you throw a dart at a dartboard, that is definitely the answer is in New York.
Oh, he's back. He's back now.
Yeah,
he's back now.
Yeah. I mean, just real quick. Like I said, with the Ravens, they have everything that they need in their building. The Giants have everything that they need in their building now. It's just a matter of learning how to win.
Good point.
I got a quick follow up though. Do you think Daboll stays for that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
I think he has to at this point. I think he has to.
I do.
I think the fact that he started Jackson Dart, that kind of
saved him.
Gave him a little year of play time.
Oh yeah, definitely saved his job. Yeah, definitely saved his job.
I also think the fact that
Dart saved his ass, saved everything. I mean, Daboll's wife needs to thank Jackson Dart. Okay, that's for sure.
So she got to move. She got to move from New York this year, right?
Exactly. Yeah, she can go out the Saks Fifth Avenue another season because of Jackson Dart.
There you go. Another New York Christmas. I understand. Okay.
Yeah. I could just see all the commercials with Dart, Scatterbo, and Neighbors, and all the whole thing. They have a lot of marketability. It's just the ceiling is very high for the Giants going forward.
Okay. All right, so there it is. Are we all in agreement that is it a quick answer?
Yeah, I think
Quick answer, the Giants.
Okay, fair enough.
Easy peasy question. Yeah,
I like it. Okay, all right. So the bonus question is: since the Cardinals didn't come up, is Kyler Murray? Is he done?
Oh, he's done.
Yeah,
okay.
Bro, look at how good Brissett looks. I think the whole offense would rather have Brissett out there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I think he's cooked.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think Jacoby Brissett is probably like a foot taller
Correct.
That's a good point. That's a good
Correct.
point. That is a good point.
That makes a difference.
He
That
can see over the offensive line. I always have picture, the Kyler Murray, like the young kid running around like this.
Yeah.
That to me that's the Kyler Murray impression. Is, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I will
And then he
never
throws it.
forget that when Kyler had that long scramble that won a game a couple of years ago, and he said he was like
Against
a
the
toddler.
Raiders.
Oh, was it? My bad.
Yeah.
He said like a toddler running with a cell phone. That is
Yeah, he was.
accurate.
Yeah.
I was there, coach. I was there. 20-0, and you lose a friggin' game. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I remember that they did like the NFL did like it was like a month long where they did NFL players like shrunken down in the field.
Right.
And they did Kyler Murray, and all the comments were just like, "Why'd you guys use a normal picture of it, man? Like, isn't this supposed to be
That
them?"
is funny.
them
You
small?
didn't need a miniature size him. You already have one.
Nope.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about one of our favorite segments. Let's get into Do You Believe? I got some hot button questions for y'all today. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right. So, young RG.
Oh, snap. What are you starting me off with, coach?
So, for people that don't know this segment, if you haven't been watching the last couple of weeks, we do a segment called Do You Believe? Now, this is off the cuff, no preface, no prep, nothing. They don't know what I'm going to ask them. I'm going to unfiltered questions that are coming right to them right now. So I'm going to get a real visceral, upfront reaction to these questions and answers. So
yeah, with a typical fake pirate question directed at me. Yeah, no, there's no slant there.
But there's no Buccaneer question in here this week. There's no Buccaneer question, but you'll like the one I got for you. Trust me.
I'm sure I will.
So, young RG, we talked about the AFC and who's the easiest fix, right? We talked about it a little bit earlier. So, do you believe that Tua is done in Miami after 2025?
Oh, man. Right off the bat, I want to say yes, because that is the smart thing to do, would be to move off him. But the Dolphins are not smart. We've seen that at least in the last 20 years.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say, man, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I'm going to say that he does stay with the Dolphins. I think McDaniels gets fired. I think this is the common, we see it all the time. You pay a quarterback all this money, you are going to try to get as much out of him as you possibly can, regardless of how awful it looks, regardless if the locker room's broken. You are going to push blame onto anything else possible besides the quarterback until there's no one else to blame, until you fired everybody, until you've replaced all the talent, and you're still getting the same thing that you've always gotten, which is subpar, injury-prone play from Tua. I'm sorry, and I say this liking Tua coming out of college. I love the guy, although some of these some of these press conferences these last few weeks are that likeness is going down by the game. If there's no guaranteed money for flipping it, he's gone. He's gone.
See what real time does for you? See what real time does for you?
Fully, not even gonna lie, fully thought they still had money tied to him just from how recent that contract was. I just thought, you know what, that's my bad. Probably should have done the research on, but it is off the cut, reaction. But
no, they're gonna do everything they can. There's no more money. Yeah, that mother is gone.
Yes,
I kept it. I did not finish the. Yeah,
right.
No, yeah,
it was implied. Yeah, that is gone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same coach who made Tua is going to be the same coach that breaks him, and they're going to ride off into the sunset together. That sweet, beautiful Miami sunset.
Okay. Well, I will say this: that looking at the contract is a quick over the cap preview. Now, he does have a significant cap hit and guaranteed money. He has $54 million left in this deal for 2026. So he has to be on the roster until at least 2026. Whether he's a starter at this point is another question. But I think after that, there is no guaranteed money to Ed's point. There's no guaranteed money in 2027. So they could cut him or trade him at some point after June 1st of next calendar year. But Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely not gonna when the new season flips in March, he's got to be on the roster because there's too much money involved in his cutting before March 1. But yeah, it's like $67 million cap hit before March 1, but it's only I think if you cut him after June 1st,
It wouldn't it could you could split it over 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, I
Coach?
think what the Broncos did with Russell.
right. But
Who?
if
Who?
you trade
Who?
him after June 1, there's only $13 million cap hit and $43 million in cap savings. So that's
Aha. That's what you're doing for the old Jewish guy or the young Jewish guy in Miami. That's what you do. You get rid of him in the June when you go to Disney. You go to Disney in June because it's not too hot, and you get rid of the contract. That's what you do.
Dolphins are going to be selling everybody too, by the way.
okay. So
This
not only they're getting rid of Tua soon, but they're going to be
Fire sale.
Fire sale. Okay.
You have to hit the hard reset after the Patriots were able to go through their rebuild and
In
finish
one
it before you
In
did.
one season. Yeah.
That's man.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
Did I get my hat, my hoodie?
Oh, Belichick.
no, not yet. Not yet. Okay.
Okay, just want to make sure.
All right, Coach Mike Dub. Well, let's see here. All right. So you talked about the 49ers earlier. So are the 49ers, in your opinion, do you believe that the 49ers are a real threat in the NFC?
And I mean, I just, and I said it before, when you lose Fred Warner, you lost Bosa. I don't know what the status on Purdy is. Ayuk. It just the list goes on and on. Of course, Kittle came back this week. It's only a matter of time before CMC goes down, like his annual injury at the end of the year. But obviously, I'm not wishing that on him. I hope he stays healthy. But I say all that to say, over time, those things just start to add up. Those are not guys that you can replace. As good as your young guys are playing, you can't replace a Fred Warner and a Joey Bosa. Or Nick Bosa, I'm sorry. You can't just replace those guys. And like I said, they're in a division with 2 other teams, in my opinion, that are just continuously getting better. Their defense is getting better. So as well as they're playing, I don't see them as a legitimate long-term threat just because I think the wear and tear of the season is just going to continue to wear on them. And then also what people don't realize is that even though you have new guys stepping up, you lose your depth. So those guys were your special teamers. Those guys were your package players. And now you don't have that depth, what you need going into those December months. So, no, I don't think that the 49ers will be a legitimate threat. I think they're going to be one of those teams that nobody wants to play because they can play spoiler, and they can, possibly they'll just match up well and they're going to grind hard and all that stuff like that. But I don't think that they're, the best team in the NFC West. Like I said, in my opinion, they're 3 behind both the Seahawks and the Rams.
Okay. Well, there you have it. All right, cool. Good stuff. All right, later. Let's take a trip up to the AFC North. Do you believe that Joe Flacco can keep the Bengals in the hunt while they wait on Joe Burrow?
Yes. This is why. You talk about an old wily vet.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the second oldest quarterbacks. Probably the oldest.
I think he's the oldest.
Yeah, he's the oldest.
Yeah.
The AARP Bowl that just took place last Thursday.
Yeah. But he's right there on top of his game. As long as they keep him standing up, he'll pick guys apart with his savvy. He knows how to look safeties off, manipulate that whole defensive backfield. Yes, I think he can until Burrow gets back.
All right.
Newsflash, he just got his Social Security before I did. So, yeah. Yeah. That sucks, by the way, but yeah.
Hey, he's still slinging that rock, though, man. I tell you, hats off.
No, that's great. He gets Social Security and he's still playing football.
That's right.
Okay. All righty. Captain Jack. I got a good one for you. So we talked about the easiest fix, and you actually went with your Raiders as your. I got you, Jack. Right after this. So in regards to your Raiders, do you believe getting into the 2026 season, do you believe that the Raiders are locked to take a quarterback in 2026? Right.
Oh yeah. And the reason that's an easy question because what did I say a couple shows ago? That the good GMs say good teams draft the quarterback every year to see if one sticks. To see if one sticks. Now we might have gotten one with Cam Miller, and by the way, AOC 12 I think might be back after the bye, and I don't think he's been given the shrift that he needs because I think Geno is shell shocked. I mean, really. Geno is like, and that's why he doesn't have that second read. Is he's looking like I got to get rid of this ball, and if it even looks like it can go to a receiver of mine, I'm throwing it to him. He did not look off any receivers last week when I was in Vegas, and I couldn't see him well enough from where I was in the field. You know. By the way, front row seats wasted, no TV time at all. That sucks. But anyway, I couldn't see him well enough from the field. I did see Kenny Pickett come in and on his very first play drop the effing ball. You have one job is to get the ball, and then you could either hand it off or one job. And he couldn't even do that. But he did come back and he was 2 for 2. But they wouldn't allow him to throw down the field. So yes, the Raiders will go quarterback next year. They still might give a chance. Yeah, still might go. Yeah, maybe 2, you know. But I think there's going to be a big time come over and show what do you call like a job fair? Who wants to play quarterback with the silver and black, right? You say Cam Miller, you got your spot. AOC 12 if he's still there. Geno, they can actually get rid of that contract, kind of like what we were talking about with Tua and whatnot. Uh-huh. They have like the Derek Carr clause, the bait and switch. Like they can what is this? A nice way to say it? Fornicate him in such a way that I said it the nice way at the end of the season and get rid of the contract. So yeah, they're going new guy unless Geno gets an offensive line. But yes, they're going. And that's easy, Coach. 1, if not 2, they're going to look at Miller. And if AOC 12 is still there, they're going to find the right fix with the right people, and they need to draft. The question should have been, how many offensive linemen are they going to take?
Yeah, that could be a subsidiary question. Yeah, 10? 10 linemen? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, all right, good stuff. Good stuff.
I got one for you, Coach. If you'll have it.
Let's go.
I like Robert giving the stump the chump questions right back to Coach. That's what I look forward to each week.
Stump, though? That what we doing?
Yeah, stump the chump, man. There you go.
Okay. All right.
All right, Coach. We talked about the Niners a little bit. We talked about the NFC West a little bit. There are currently 3 teams in that division at 5-2: Niners, Seattle, and the Rams. What is your projection for that division come end of the season? And I do mean do you have playoff teams in that division? Do you have multiple? What do you think that NFC West turns into? Because it's as tight as it can get right now, 7 weeks through.
Yeah, it's a possibility that you could get 3 teams out of that division in the playoffs. I would say in order, it was going to likely be Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals. That's how the division will likely shake out for me. Just a question of what the other divisions do. Jaden Daniels' health is a question mark, and I'm sure Mike Dell will talk about that more on his insider video this weekend on his health. That hamstring, it's a tricky one. And again, for his style of play, it could lead to other things. So we want to make sure we monitor that. Terry McLaurin's still not on the field, so likely, I'm always looking at the Commanders as being that second team in, from a wild card perspective from that division. We'd you probably getting 2 teams out of the North, maybe 1 out of the South. So I mean, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it might be an odd man out. It just depends on who finishes where and what. But if the Commanders don't get healthy fast, they could be the odd man out, and you could get Eagles only. You get 2 out of the North, 1 out of the South, and 3 out of the West. That could definitely be a possibility for sure. So yeah, I think that those teams, especially with the 49ers having the easiest schedule in the whole entire league, I think that's benefiting them, for them being so banged up. So when they get fully healthy, outside of having Bosa and Fred Warner, obviously, they could definitely, make some noise, and they just have to beat their division opponents, which to Mike Duff's point, I think I agree. I'm not sure they can do that.
They are 3-0 in the division up until this point, though.
That's true. Yeah, so we'll see. But I do believe that the Rams are probably be the ones holding the crown at the end. But I think that they could get 3 teams out of this division in the playoffs if possible.
All right.
Jack, Joe Alt will be back this week. I didn't forget you. We just trying to figure this segment out. Joe Alt will be back this week, good sir. That is all signs pointing to he's practicing. We played Thursday, so all signs are pointing to, we like this, believe that he's going to be back this week for sure.
Hopefully him and Pipkins.
Hopefully, but we'll see. That brace on Trey Pipkins' knee gives me pause. There's a huge brace, so I'm not sure how healthy he is at this point. And you might honestly, truly might be better off not playing him if he can't have any mobility with that brace either. So, so I would argue that he may or may not play, but I definitely believe Joe Alt will be back at left tackle this week. That's Jack's question. So yeah. All right, so let's move on down the line. Let's talk about our segment called Cover Forecast. We're getting our NFL predictions this week and our games of the week. All right, so we got 4 games on the docket here. Giants, Eagles, 49ers, Texans, Cowboys, Broncos, and Packers at Steelers. Rematch. Aaron Rodgers going back to, he's not going back to Lambeau. They're coming to Pittsburgh, but he's going to face his old team. So starting up top, the Giants, mollywopped the Eagles 2 weeks ago, like Dub. So, are the Eagles trying for revenge at home with a 6.5 spread, or is this a little bit of fool's gold for this divisional matchup?
I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. So I'm gonna take the Giants to cover, but I think the Eagles will pull it out.
Okay. Yeah. All right, lady, what you got in this matchup?
I'm gonna take the Eagles also. They're gonna remember that ass whooping they got.
That's for sure.
And I thought this is really gonna be one of those physical fisticuffs, as they call it. It's gonna be one of those type games.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. And Jalen Carter didn't play the game before, right? So he's gonna be back.
Yes.
He's gonna play this week.
Yeah, he's gonna play this week. So that's gonna be a good one.
All right, in the middle.
Yeah, he's gonna give him broad problems in the middle. So, RSG, who you got in this game?
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. Eagles, to Violator's point, they remember that ass whooping. It was only a week ago from this past Sunday or from this past Thursday.
Yeah, you're right.
And they BTA is all I'm gonna say for this matchup. Give me those points too.
Give
me those points.
I like it. Okay, Cap
What was
Jack.
that? BTA?
Belt to ass.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I honestly, no, I'm not doing it for comic effect. I really wanted to know what that meant. I had no clue.
No, you're good.
Are you good?
Totally good.
Yeah. All right, Cap Jack, who you got? Giants or Eagles?
Definitely the Eagles in my best non-John Facenda voice, the voice of God. The Eagles will whip that ass.
Hilarious. Yeah, I think the Eagles are definitely on a revenge tour at home. Yeah, I'm a little skittish on the points, because the Giants can be feisty, and they should be pissed off too. They gave them 33 points to the Broncos, so they should be motivated to come back and put on a better performance. They always say that.
Hey, I think Vinny took care of their kicker. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think he made it back so well.
He might not have. You might be right because he missed 2 extra points.
They released him.
He missed 2 points, and I tell you what, the 2 points that they're gonna get him by, let's just say, forget about it. He gone.
Did they release him?
They released him, and funny enough, I saw a stat with those 2 points. This is the first time in NFL history a team has lost a game by 1 point in which the kicker missed 2 extra points.
Wow. Yeah, you don't
forget about it. You know that was coming. Come on.
Yeah, sleeping with the fishes. I get it.
Fell off the truck. Come on. What are you talking about?
Understand. All right. So just talk about the 49ers, and they're going to go up against the Texans, and I thought this might be a better matchup, but the Texans. Now I don't know how they're favored in this matchup. I don't know how, but they're favored by 1.5 at home. So who do you got, Mike Dub?
I'm gonna go with the Texans. I'm not even confident in it, to be honest, but their defense looks good.
It did.
But their offensive line is so hard to watch.
Brutal.
Oh my God. I'm going to Niners. I got to go to Niners. It's very hard to watch that offensive line and that lack of a running game. And CJ just looked bad. Their offense looked terrible. So
Yeah,
I'm going for the
He
Niners.
looks shell shocked too. He doesn't feel confident in his O-line, and he's got happy feet in the pocket. It's bad.
Yeah, it looked terrible. I'm going for it.
No. You want to see brutal offensive line? You might want to watch our games more often, man.
I would definitely implore you to watch our games.
Yeah.
So check this out. I got Genty, and then I got both Chubb and Marks on my fantasy team. So I've seen my fair share of
brutal performance.
a brutal running back running.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that. That is self-masochism. I told you guys about fantasy football. I told you guys. Although for your best fantasy football outlook, be sure to hit the lightning fast fantasy football podcast by that guy and Alex when he comes back from baby leave. Hey, there's your plug, man.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Great plug at that. Yes, indeed. All right, Violet. We got 49ers and Texans.
I got the Niners for the simple fact that they're gonna go ground control. They didn't let Kittle catch a whole lot. He was doing more blocking. That's another week of getting loosened up. I think he's going to be their main pass catcher, but they're going to just go ground and pound on the Texans.
Yeah. Okay. All right, young RG, who you got?
Man, to Mike's point, to Mike and your point, I have no clue how the Texans are favored in this game.
I don't either.
However, I'm gonna go with the Texans here.
Ooh.
I trust that defense. That defense I trust.
Okay. I can get with that. Yeah, I can get with that.
What I don't trust is that O-line and that quarterback at this current moment.
Yes.
But this is not going to be your typical, offensive showdown, to say the least. This is going to be a grueling 13-9, 13-6 kind of game. I would not be, because the Texans are allowing 12 points per game. That's by far the lowest in the league.
Yeah.
And they're 2-4.
Right.
Like that, the number, the math ain't math in there. And so I feel like the Niners, the injuries are finally going to catch up for them this week. This is a brutal matchup to walk into against this defense. I'm going to take the Texans.
Okay. All right, Cap, I'm getting the hat.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm pre-scheduling it.
Okay.
Well, sure, I can use it now.
Okay, who you got, 49ers or Texans?
There ain't no damn way that the Texans going to win this game. How's that?
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. I like it.
I was just trying to find – this is my Texans hat, but I couldn't find my Cowboys. Give me a couple seconds on the Cowboys hat.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have confidence in anything but that defense on the Texans side. That's a rough one. I mean, 1.5 is really a pick'em game. I want to say 49ers because Mike Dubb brought up a good point earlier about how well they run, and I think they're really well coached by Shanahan. Obviously he has issues winning the big game, but I mean that if your coach's only issue is winning the big game, then I think you got a pretty good one. So I'm gonna. And DeMeco Ryans is a Shanahan disciple. He was on his staff.
Yep.
Prior to him getting this job. So this is an interesting one too. Does Kyle know something about DeMeco that that everybody doesn't? He kind of knows a little bit of nuance how to get to the weaknesses of his defense. I don't know. I'm gonna take the 49ers, but I don't feel good about it. I feel dirty.
Was it DeMeco a position coach under Saleh? Was he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. No, he was under Saleh. I think he got the defensive coordinator job when Saleh left. And then he got taken by the Texans as a head coach.
He was the linebackers coach under Saleh, right?
He was.
Yep. So Saleh probably had some inside information on.
Well, they probably both do. He was on the staff of both of them, so they probably
right.
Yeah.
But until they fix that old line, guys, even with the Niners' best pass rushers out, they're going to get to. They're going to get to CJ.
I mean, nothing else from the internal perspective because the internal O-line for the Texans is just as bad as the edges. So it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal. Yeah. All right, so we got Cowboys at Broncos. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. Cowboys are trending up again. It's week to week for me with them and that defense. But the Broncos coming off that miraculous victory against the Giants. What you got in this matchup, Mike Dubb? Broncos or Cowboys?
That's a hard one. I think I'm gonna go Broncos with the edge. I like the Cowboys. You know how they look with CD coming back, but their defense is still very leaky, and I think the Broncos can take advantage of it. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Violet, who you got in this matchup? Cowboys or Broncos?
I got Broncos because to me they're more balanced than the Cowboys. Yeah, they can put up 44 points, but they can't stop anybody either. So I think the Broncos have a decent enough running attack, but this Bo Nix, and he's got a hell of a passing game. So I got the Broncos at home.
Okay. All right, young RG, who you got in this matchup?
Man, I love this line for the Cowboys plus 3.5. I'm taking that all day, every day. Broncos are barely beating teams, let's be honest. So you're giving me the fact that they can kick a walk-off field goal and I still cover? Give me that easily, all day, every day. But I really do think the Cowboys have a legitimate shot to win this game. It's going to have to be a shootout like every single one of their games is. But we've seen that Broncos defense get had. They just gave up 30 plus to the Giants, and obviously they won that game, and it was in miraculous fashion. But I think the Cowboys, I think the Broncos' biggest problem is themselves. I feel like they are what holds back their offense the most, and Bo is what's holding back their offense. So it might not even be, Violator. It might not even be a case where the Cowboys have to stop them. It just might be a case where they're stopping themselves, and the Cowboys, all they got to do is just worry about scoring, and then they'll be good.
Okay. All right.
Good point.
Captain Jack, who you got?
What the hell? Who the hell you talk, Captain? That's like the third time that you're you might want to look at who the hell you're talking to.
I didn't see the hat.
Well, then you need to expect it because then, damn it, I got all these hats for the sake. This is where I can use my hats. I should have been able to do that. That's just me being or I should say Captain Jack being a schmuck. This is where it could use it. How about them Cowboys? I just want to say it. I definitely think that they can eke out a win. Now how many syllables are in win? Like 3 win.
Each letter is a syllable.
There you go.
There you go. I like this guy when he's not an a-hole to me, but yeah, Cowboys can win. This game. You got it. I have not turned my butt around any time on this show, so that
we thank you.
And I thank you, because I can give you a full frontal as well. But how about them Cowboys? I got you. Got you.
Okay, Cowboys from the Cowboy himself. Fair enough.
There you go.
I'm drinking the Cowboys Kool-Aid too because see, I point high-powered offense. Broncos don't have a high-powered offense. If the Cowboys can, do what they've been doing as far as putting points up, even against that Broncos defense, I would argue that the Broncos can't keep up. So I would argue that they could definitely either, win outright or cover the spread for sure. So I'm rolling with the Cowboys as well. All right, last game of the week, we got the Packers going to Pittsburgh to face the Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers. So, Mike Dub, who you got in this matchup? The Packers actually 3.5 favorites on the road.
Packers. I think. I'm going to say. Well, no, I won't. I was just about to say. I think that this is. Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it for the hot takes.
Okay.
But Packers. Yeah.
Okay, you got Packers. All right, Violet, who you got?
Packers.
Okay. All right, Packers 3.5. Young RG?
Man, I'm going against the grain with everybody here, man. I'm taking the Steelers, and I'm just going purely revenge game. We've seen a couple of revenge games this season, all of them involving the Cowboys in some point or another. I know Micah Parsons wasn't as anticipated. He only ended up he got the one sack that they did get. So for what it's worth, and for that sack they tied, prevented a loss. So take that for what you will, but. Rico Dowdle had, his revenge game against the Cowboys, went off for the most scrimmage yards ever by a Carolina Panther. Give me Aaron Rodgers in his revenge tour. They're at home. Steelers do play well at home. I feel like they are going to squeak away with this one, and I'll obviously take the points because I had the Steelers winning outright. So yeah, give me that 3.5 too.
All right, Jack, who you got over there? Packers and Steelers. You and this camera. What is going on today?
Oh,
he's frozen.
There he is. Just win, baby.
It's the Steelers. You need to know how to pronounce the name. In Western Pennsylvania, you got to love the Steelers. The Steelers. And it's going to be close, though, but the Steelers. I hate saying that. I can't stand that damn team, but the Steelers. Because I got my steel hard hat on.
Yeah, would the Steelers not be able to stop the run this year for some mysterious reason? I think this is a Josh Jacobs type game, in my opinion.
I want to see that. Oh, my God.
I think Josh Jacobs runs wild. I think that Michael Parsons feasts on this old line and wreaks havoc on Aaron Rodgers. Apropos, I'm going Packers. I'm going Packers in the line, man, for sure. I think Packers win this game for sure. Okay, all right. So that's our games of the week. So as we wrap up, and we like to do before we get out of here, we got our last segment called Fourth and Final, our hot takes of the week. So anything that you have brewing from the panel's perspective, what's your hot takes of the week leading, going through the rest of the season, for your teams, whatever you got brewing in your pot, what's cooking on the stove right now, hot and brewing, cooking like hot fish grease. Let us know now, or forever hold your peace in regards to what are your hot takes. I think Mike Dub already got one brewing, so he said he had one in the tuck he had saving. So I'm gonna let him go first.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too crazy, but I think this is the turning point of the week. Kind of how we were talking about the contenders and pretenders. I think this is the start of, or the continuation for some of where we start to see some of those teams that got off to a hot start to come back down to earth. So I think the Steelers are one. I think there are a few other teams that'll probably come back down to earth. I think the Bears might get humbled by the Ravens this week. I'm not going to go out and say that.
Assuming Lamar plays.
plays. Yeah, assuming Lamar plays. But yeah, I think that this is going to be the turning point of the week where teams just start to come back down to earth. We start to see the dust settle a little bit, and we start to see those contenders rise. So I'm going to say, assuming Lamar plays, I think he will, because I think it's do or die. I see the Ravens coming up with I guess you can call it an upset based off of paper, with the Bears, and then a few other teams I think that are going to humble some other ones. I mentioned the Packers and the Steelers. So I think this is the week that we start to see things take shape.
Okay. And Violet, you got anything that's brewing in your pot over there?
Yeah, it's red hot too. My controversial take is who's going to be the scapegoat for this 2-5 Raiders team.
Hot.
It's at critical mass right now, and the fan base is tired of hearing the lip service. Somebody's got to take the fall. That's my take. Who's going to be first one out? Either the offensive line coach or the offensive coordinator.
Oh, okay. Okay, that is hot. That is hot. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, young RG, what you got over there brewing in your pot over there?
I got one. I'm gonna go with an upset this week. I'm gonna go Browns over Patriots.
Wow.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you think the Patriots are drinking their Kool-Aid and they're feeling themselves and they're going to come together?
I think the Pats are feeling themselves, and they should, rightfully so. I think Drake May is playing fantastic. I think that offense is flowing. Stephon Diggs looks like a number one wide receiver, and they have complementary pieces around him. As long as Ramondre Stevenson isn't fumbling the ball, they have a sound running game. But I just think that this Browns defense in particular, is going to be able to control the pace of the game very early on. Throw May out of his rhythm. I think with the run game, keeping May off the field, keeping time of possession, as long as Gabriel doesn't make any stupid turnovers and give the Patriots short field, I really think this will be a grueling game, like a very, very low scoring. But yeah, I think that's where the Browns thrive, is low scoring, defensive oriented games.
Okay. All right, there you have it. Captain Jack, what you got over there brewing hot in your pot?
Well, first off, you can tell when Captain Jack is on because
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I will say that, and I want to. I don't know if y'all know. I want to thank both Susie and Rich. I always say Roger because his name is Rich Rogenkamp. I was at the Image leaving last Monday, so it's been a little over a week, and I said, man, that's a nice looking hat. And they got me this hat. So now, granted, I paid, obviously, because I tried to get it as nice as I could, as close as I could, but you can't get it awesomely like that. But I did get it nice and stylized because I wanted to make sure it was at least close.
Okay.
My hot take this week is I can stay at home. No, you guys laugh at that. It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then come back on Monday. Then I got to do all this stuff during the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. First of all, it's 3 YouTube shows. And then I got to do all of this stuff here, I can stay at home. I can, go for a nice Friday dinner and a Saturday dinner, with the significant Ms. Captain, for once. Okay. My goodness. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. I could do this. I could go, I kick back and watch my 70-inch here, for all of the football. And I will do a show on Sunday, but I'll be like impartial as whatever. Okay. You go to all the away games. Well, most of the away games, Ed, I'm going to miss Philly. I'm going to miss Denver because I'm just going to screw up my schedule going to a Thursday night game. I'm not going to the Gargler game in LA. I might go to LA if somebody gets off their ass and says that they're going to have me out there for an event, but I ain't going otherwise. Okay. And by the way, I did find out wearing plastic beads instead of most of my metal avoided the fracas that normally was in Kansas City, so that the fact that I was in my power chair and I had on all my plastic stuff around my neck instead of my normal metal stuff gave me quick entrance into Kansas City. And one final thought, and it's not per se a hot take. I want to say how fantastic the Kansas City fans, 98% of them, how fantastic they were. The city, just everybody that I met. I mean, you got some digs, all of the, a couple
every
smacks,
team.
a couple smug fans, but that's, in Alex's absence, how fantastic the Kansas City fans were. I said it on my Instagram. I said it on my Facebook. And as a small little present to Alex and to his young new kid, they are going to be presented with 2 game pins from the Kansas City Raiders game, because God knows I don't want to keep any extras of those friggin' pins around the house. But I got 2. No, I'm serious. I got 2 game pins for them. So Alex will get one and his young offspring. I think that his technically was the first Chiefs game after he was born.
Yep.
So good. I wanted to make sure they didn't slide in and do like a game before that. So for the first game of his life, he's going to have a game pin of Chiefs Raiders for Alex and it is a son, correct? I want to make sure.
Sir.
Okay, good. That makes it better. So that's my present. But I'm going to do the old 70. Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope because I don't want to put any freaking money into it. No, well, unless he comes down to Florida. But yeah, that's my gift. Quick gift to Alex and son for him being here on Earth.
That's an awesome gift. Great memory. Great gift.
Good stuff. I like it. All right, for me, real quick, I'm looking at Minnesota. Y'all bashed and browbeat Carson Wentz earlier, but I tend to think that Carson Wentz is going to be a starting quarterback for the rest of the season.
Ooh, where's the? We need to draw one of those. Where's the air horn?
Yeah. I tend to think that that's going to be it.
Yeah, I'll just Miami Disco air. That's what I was waiting for. That's.
I think this whole hiding JJ McCarthy behind his injury, and he doesn't, for certain stretches of the time frame, Carson Wentz doesn't look bad. I mean, you look at his numbers, he doesn't look bad. I think he gives them a better shot to be competitive where they're at right now than JJ McCarthy does, because I think there's something going on there. Maybe just not ready. Maybe he's not seeing things the proper way, and that's kind of hard to say with a Kevin O'Connell led offense. But I think that unless the injury happens, I think Carson Wentz might be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. I think he give him a better shot.
Wow.
Honestly, because what I saw from JJ McCarthy in those brief periods before he got hurt, or did he get hurt? They saying that he, it was an injury, but people saying it might be just a way for them to get it off of him for a little while, sit him down, kind of do him like a Bryce Young type thing, sit him down, let him calm his nerves and get back right and hold that clipboard for a little while, and then we'll come back to it, kind of thing. So maybe later, maybe if they're out of the race by week 15, 16, maybe they give him a couple of game run. But I think that for the meat of the season, I think that he's going to be the starting quarterback in my opinion.
Wow. So do you think that they move off from him after this year, or do you just think just from JJ?
No, I think they give JJ. I think they start JJ next year. I think they want to let him have that full season without injury, quote unquote, and let him start next year. I think they with a full off season, no injuries, things of that nature. I think they're finally rolling back out next season. But with him working with Kevin O'Connell a little more. But I got a feeling that Carson Wentz is going to be the quarterback for the foreseeable future, at least in 2025. Okay, what's happening over there? What's going on? E-Mac Daddy, we see you over there. We see you. All right. So anything else brewing in y'all brewing in your pot before we get out of here?
Home for the weekend.
There you go.
Home for the weekend.
That is the hot news. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. All right, as always, if you're looking for the hit squad in any facet, Coach Mike Dubb, Alex Givens, or Robert Garcia, Commanders, Chiefs, and Chargers Insider, respectively, hit them up on their socials if you have any questions about their team, anything they do from their content perspective, and check their videos out throughout the week. Young RG, because of the Thursday night football games going tomorrow. Alex will be on Thursday, and Coach Mike Dubb will be on Friday. I got that wrong. So Mike Dubb will be on Thursday, and Alex will be on Friday. Switching it up this week because of Thursday night football. But check their insider videos out to give you in-depth analysis of what's going on for their teams week to week. So check them out and hit them up on social if you have any questions. For the NFL Nation Live, guys, we got Ref Guru. If you're looking to have any referee-related questions, please hit them up on Twitter. Violator, if you have any Raiders, questions, any inner workings of the team, please hit them up on Twitter as well. If you got any questions or just want to, annoy him, please hit up Captain Jack and any facet of his socials, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter.
Nobody annoys me except for the young RG. Okay. No, and that I'm kidding on that.
We know. It's all good. We know you. That's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek.
Wait.
Oh man, leave him for the theatrics. I like it. Okay. All right. So there's the NFL Nation Live crew. If you're looking for Lockdown Defense Sports Network in any facet, hit us up on our socials. We're pretty much on all platforms. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube to let the YouTube algorithm know we're doing big things out there. Follow us on all our socials. If you have any generic questions for the network or any NFL questions, please hit us up on those socials or drop us an email. Our subsidiary channels, the Electric Shock Podcast for all Chargers news, Electric Shock Pod on any platform. Myself and Young RG drop content on there regularly. So hit us up there if you want any Chargers specific questions answered, and drop that subscribe button on that as well. And if you're looking for fantasy football advice, the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast is there live and direct. Lightning Fast FF on all platforms, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Drop a subscription there as well. It's all free. If you have any fantasy football related questions, please drop us a line and we'll get back to you in short order. Alex should be back this week. He's on travel this week for work, but he should be back tomorrow for tomorrow night's show. We are going live tomorrow night at 9:00 for our live show, our weekly show, in which I'm constantly throughout the week to get you ready for your fantasy football in that matchup. So there it is. All right, gentlemen. So that's it for us this week. Any parting words before we get out of here?
Keep your head up, Chargers fans. I know it's rough right now, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Shit. Rough? Are you effing kidding me? Rough? Come on, Violator. Violator.
Tell him.
Come on, tell it.
Rough as a dry corn cob, and I'll leave it at that.
Wow.
There you go.
Gotta end it on that one, huh?
Indeed. Drop the mic. Coach Mike, you got anything for the fans before we get out of here?
All good.
You're right. Can't follow that. I understand. All right, then. All right. Well, we'll be back next week as always. Like I said, hit the subscribe button on Lockdown Defense Sports Network and get that algorithm moving in our direction, and we get that next level of monetization going. So we appreciate everybody's support. Everybody that held us down throughout the chat, all the visitors, all the questions. We appreciate y'all. And we'll be back next week at 9:00 for another rendition of the Lockdown Blitz. But in the meantime, between time, I'm Coach Defense. That is Young RG. That's Coach Mike Dubb. That is Violator himself and Cap Jack Rackham. Until next week, we'll see when we see you. As always, you got to step up to lock it down.